up, guys? It's your girl Nene J here, and today I'm back at it again with another Designated Survivor video. I'm going to be commenting on episodes 16, 17, and 18. I highly do apologize for the delay because right now I'm in the middle of finals week, and my last finals is this Sunday. Well, it's due this Sunday, and pretty much I will be done, period. So after this, I should be back on schedule with every Designated Survivor video coming out on either Thursday or on Friday. I think in my last vlog, I said it's going to be coming out every Friday, but I'm just going to push this one out today since I finally got to keep up with the Designated Survivor schedule, like when the show comes out as well. So pretty much I'm going to try my best to shoot for every Thursday. So on to the video. Alright, so episode 16, it starts off with the recaps as usual. Then it starts off, then at the end of the recaps, it was showing when Agent Wells had found all of the information from Claudine's laptop with the it was like the weak points of major U.S. monuments like the Hoover Dam and the Golden Gate Bridge and the Statue of Liberty. So pretty much it's like they were planning to blow it up. So then after that, it goes into the actual show, and she's talking to the Secret Service guy. I have no idea what his name is, but he's black and he's bald. Next, it goes into talk about Bill 8180, and Bill 8180, if you guys didn't catch what that was with the last episode, Bill 8180 is pretty much, they want to expand gun control background checks for guns and things like that. Then, the guy, what was his name? Senator Bowman, he was one that had leaked it out, and everything wasn't even ready yet. So pretty much there's a whole fiasco like throughout this episode through that, and so they had to hurry up and get the votes. And then later on, it said throughout the episode, they said that they needed 51 votes to at least pass the bill onto the House so they could review it and things like that. But as time goes on, they have to amend it more because there's so many loopholes. Like pretty much the bill is really just trash. Like it definitely wasn't ready yet. So it's pretty evident from the jump, from last episode, that Bowman definitely wanted Kirkman to choke. So pretty much they kept saying that the language of the bill is flawed. Then there's a conversation between Hook Stratton and Aaron. So even though Aaron is definitely Democratic and Hook Stratton is a definite Republican, pretty much it seems like they're definitely joining forces and, actually working together. So pretty much the senator from Massachusetts, she's talking about how when she was talking to Kirkman, she was talking about how she wanted cuts from the heavily rich, and that money to be added to Medicare and Social Security and a whole lot of stuff. Like honestly speaking, this episode was very relatable because this is stuff that we're talking about now. So honestly speaking, it's really safe to say that whoever is writing this show, they're really looking at current events, and this show is really so relatable. Honestly speaking, this show, Designated Survivor, if it hasn't blown up already, this show is definitely gonna blow up because this is really relatable as far as the topics that they're putting on in the show. So next, after that, Wells and Jason Atwood, they discovered where Claudine has been traveling to. So she's been traveling to this place in North Dakota, and it's literally nowhere, honestly speaking. Because when they went to North Dakota, it was when they went to the spot as to where they said that she last was, or her frequent area, it was just a field, and it was nothing in it. And so they was just looking like, what the hell is this? So after that, so she's like, you know what, I'm gonna have to call for backup. So she calls Jason, and then she met him in a parking garage, and gave him the information and was like, look, we gotta go to North Dakota. These people was in buttfuck Idaho. I don't know where they were. Like, it was just ridiculous, because I'm just like, why, like, when you watch the show, you're just like, why is she in the middle of nowhere? The people don't know nothing. The people who who were constantly like in that area, they didn't know, like, they just didn't know like what was, like, not necessarily what was going on, but they just never used cash. They were like people who actually like live in that smaller area. They didn't know what was going on. The man at the pub was like, oh, well, they like bonfires. She's like, how do you know they like bonfires? They seen the little glow or whatever, but apparently it wasn't a bonfire. It was actually the area where they were. It was actually a landing spot. I guess we could call it like a landing spot. But yeah, but what happened after that, I'm gonna say for later on. Next, pretty much, Kirkman, he was trying to get votes for the bill. They needed 5 Republican votes, and the thing that really pissed me off was that, of course, like, Kirkman, he was afraid that he was going to lose because, like, the Republican side, I mean, he's independent, and, like, the Democrats was all for it. And so, of course, the Republican side, like, even though they're the majority of the House, it was still up and down. So, he already had 3. And the one vote that he was counting on, she bitched out. And I was really mad, because I'm just like, how you gonna flake out on Kirkman? Kirkman has a good cause. So, she couldn't stand the heat. So, she just flaked out on him. I thought it was whack. So, next, Senator Bowman, like, he just kept, like everything Kirkman was doing, he just kept shitting on it. And I really didn't appreciate that. But then again, like, at the same time, like, I can definitely see why. Because at the end of the day, Bowman has a strong Republican bias. So, and what Kirkman is doing is more for the people, and Republicans, I don't know, to me, they kind of stand for the rich. Like, I don't know, I could be wrong, but from what I've been learning in the U.S. government, the Republicans are for the rich and the Democrats are for the people. Historically, it may not have been like that, but current events, like, from now, is like that. So, I don't know, I could be wrong. Comment down below what you think. I mean, you know, educate me. Like, if I'm wrong, you know, prove me wrong, you know? Anyway, so then, after that, so Jason Wells and Jason Atwood and Agent Wells, they finally reached North Dakota. And, oh, I already said that. Anyway, but pretty much, like, it was when they were in the car and they were talking, and he was just like, you know what? Pretty much, like, just to make long story short on that, the car ride conversation, Jason Atwood, like, he still doesn't have the closure that he needs over the loss of his son. Like, he's still going through it. So I'm just like, you know what? It's gonna be a while. So I'm pretty sure that, like, for the next maybe 2 or 3 episodes, he's gonna still be going through his in and outs, like, over his child. Next, Kirkman is finally getting his votes. Like, people are saying that, you know, they're gonna support it, whatever. Because if anything, like, the Republicans technically had the final say. It wasn't really up to the Democrats. So the Democrats were already on board. So they just had to get the Republicans on board. Now, the First Lady and the Senator from Massachusetts, I guess they must have had, like, some type of meeting, whatever, and then she runs into Senator Bowman. Now, Senator Bowman, he was trying to say some slick stuff on the side, and, you know, First Lady wasn't having that, so she checked that ass. And I'm just like, look, the attitude is literally coming out, and I am living. So, next, after that, pretty much he had lost, I forgot which senator it was, but he had lost their vote. So now they had to talk to, damn, I forgot her name. but it was a red hair senator. Then after that, like pretty much it just shows the scenes of like when they're talking to when they're talking to everybody, and the damn, I forgot his name too, but he was the president before Kirkman's term. President, before the like he was the president before Kirkman was president. I don't know how to explain it, but he was president before the term that Kirkman is serving for the president that got killed in the bombing, if that makes sense. So anyway, but yeah, he's the older president. And so pretty much he was talking to the other senator, and he was just like, I mean, I ain't really asking for you to vote, but you gonna have to vote. Like, he was telling the man that you gonna vote today, and you like, and we gonna get your vote. And the man was like, well, so then you could throughout the episode you can really tell how loyal Aaron is to Kirkman. And I'm actually regardless of whatever happened, I'm actually really happy that Aaron kept that loyalty towards Aaron. Aaron kept that loyalty towards Kirkman, because at the end of the day, I mean, the whole situation, it was really messed up. And even though Kirkman had an investigation going on with Aaron and everything, had blocked him out of stuff, he's still loyal to Kirkman. So that's loyalty right there. You can never question Aaron's loyalty right there. Anyway, so then Seth lets Emily know that the first lady and Senator Bowman had some exchange of words. So they was like, damn, and it was only a few hours before the senators started voting on the bill. And so pretty much they never told him or anything, because that would just rile his anxiety up, and he'll be like, oh shit, we about to fail now. Cause Bowman really was getting on my last nerve. The thing about Bowman, later on in the episode, Bowman was really giving me Donald Trump vibes. And I'll explain that more. And I'll go more in depth into that once I get to the next episode or later on this episode. So pretty much, then it goes back to Agent Wells and Jason, and so they went back to the area where they were standing on the open field, and pretty much they just walked around, and then they found this chamber, and it was ridiculous. I really didn't know what to say. It just had so much stuff in it. It had honestly speaking, it had bombs. Pretty much. It had bombs. And there were a whole lot of bombs. And pretty much they were yellow, and they just took a whole lot of pictures of it, and they were sending it to the what's that guy? I still have no idea what his name is. But he's the white-haired agent that be working with Agent Wells. So they sent to him, and pretty much they're trying to figure out, what does the acronym mean, and things like that. So now it goes back to Kirkman, and they're watching the news to see how the senators are voting. So then, personally, that scene definitely made me nervous. It was happening in real life. I don't know why. But, so then, the red hair senator, she said no. She flaked out. Then, but Vandenberg, she said yes. Now, the history with Vandenberg is that her husband, now she's a senator of Tennessee, her husband usually votes Republican, so usually he would have been against it, honestly. But and later on, she goes to say that that's something that her husband never really agreed on, and she feels that Kirkman is doing the right thing, so that's why she voted yes, and she just gave Kirkman some words of encouragement, and that was that. Then after that, Kirkman pretty much got 51 votes, and the bill passed. Then, so all cause of Hook Stratton, so anyway. Then, it goes to show that Wells I feel like I'm repeating. I'm sorry. Like I feel like I'm repeating because after that scene, after that scene with Vandenberg, they're in the tomb and they figure out like they open up one of the little things and it's bombs in there and pretty much is how the episode ends. So like honestly, I really feel like I was repeating a lot through the first through this first episode because like honestly like it kept switching back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So this episode it was kind of like okay, like what happens next. So episode 17, it starts off with somebody's head is in a truck and the area like the area like once they like zoomed out to where the truck was and everything, it's safe to assume that they were in an area with like the Taliban or ISIS, like something of that nature. Like it was something like that. Then then later on as the scene played on, it goes to show that it was Abe Leonard. He was in wherever he was, and he was trying to find out about Lozano, and the guy like the head honcho for that group, he didn't speak any English, but his sidekick did, so he was just translating whatever. And so he had a picture of Lozano, and he was asking information about Lozano. And the guy was like, Lozano didn't kill anybody. Lozano had paid Al Sakar to take the blame. Now pretty much then after that, it goes back to the vice presidency, and Kirkman, they're talking in the office or whatever, and pretty much like they're just wondering about the vice presidency, how is it gonna go, because at the end of the day they still don't have a vice president, they don't even have a Supreme Court yet fully. So if anything like right now like the whole government is really I don't know the right word, not there yet. Anyway, so pretty much he's talking to a professor. Her name is Julia, and so far I actually really like Julia. And he was gonna make her chief of justice, but it didn't work out because later on in the episode she goes to say that she has early onset dementia. And that scene when he had told her, like, that really hit home for me because I had a loved one that had dementia and she died 3 years ago from full-blown Alzheimer's. So, I mean, that's it right there. That hit home for me. So, right now, like, that was, like, episode 17 was really, really, really a good episode, honestly. So, then, I pretty much just skipped all the way down the episode, but going back, the reporter, Abe Leonard, he's somehow back in the U.S. and he's talking to Seth, and he's saying that Al Sakar didn't blow up the Capitol. They've been played, but technically they really haven't been. Well, to me, I don't really feel like they've been played. They're just looking in the wrong area. That's how I feel. Then it's a conference meeting between all the senators after the bill had passed. And pretty much like Bowman was trying to start stuff, and Kirkman straight checked that ass. He was like, "Who are you talking to? You are doing too much." I wouldn't like. He's like, "I do not have a problem going into the press secretary room and literally outing your ass." I was like, like where is Kirkman getting this attitude? Cause comparing Kirkman from episode 1 to now, I'm like, this man done bucked up. So, anyway, so pretty much he's saying how it like what he's doing is pretty much making him an obstructionist, and I'm just cause he's over here like, well, he needs they're talking about the 9th judge, and like they need a 9th judge for the Supreme Court, so that way when there's a tie on the votes, the 9th judge could be the neutral party and yada yada yada. So, but then like it makes sense as to, like, honestly speaking, if you really like look more deeper into it, it makes a whole lot of sense as to what Bowman is doing, because Bowman, he didn't feel comfortable with I forgot who was their original choice, but he didn't feel comfortable with that original choice. He was just like, no ma'am, no sir, not gonna happen. But the thing about it is, what Bowman wanted was, well, what I feel Bowman wanted was that he wanted another Republican to be the ninth judge, so that way he can kind of get his way. But that's just not gonna happen, because what Kirkman wanted was an independent, and there was gonna be 4 Democrats, 4 Republicans. So, I mean, I don't really know. I don't really understand fully, but that's just what I personally think. Then after that scene, it goes to show Agent Wells and Jason, and they're in buttfuck Idaho, in North Dakota. I don't even know where they at, but like they're like miles down from where the spot is. And when they're walking around and stuff, they're noticing all of these weird license plates. So I mean, you seen New York, you seen Tennessee, you seen Georgia, you seen, like, it was just a lot of different license plates. So she's looking around, she's like, oh, so people driving from everywhere just to go to this little ass spot. Like, what's so good about this little spot where you driving from Georgia all the way to North Dakota? No, that don't make no sense. What is there in North Dakota? Like, really? Like, but I was like, realistically speaking, what is there in North Dakota? What is a North Dakota? Anyway, so pretty much, like, this one dude, he approached them, and he just looked a little bit suspect. I think he was suspect of them, but he made himself look suspect, honestly. Then, when she's walking past this one car, she notices this book, and it says Pax Americana. Now, and then after that, it switches back to the conference where Kirkman was having. And pretty much what Bowman pretty much wants is a party that would how can I put it? He pretty much just wants a party that would agree with everything that he does. And that's what, like, when I said earlier, like, he was giving me Trump vibes, that's what I meant. Because with Donald Trump, like, when he first got in office, he was literally fighting everybody that didn't agree with him. And to me, that's pretty much the vibe that I was getting from Bowman. So, I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong. Like, as the season played out, I could be wrong. But for right now, he is definitely what Trump would be as a senator. Well, what I feel Trump would be as a senator. So now they're talking to the guy at the little pub, and this is when he was telling them about the bonfires and things like that, because, like, he's been noticing stuff or whatever, but he just puts it as a bonfire. So, like, the way he was talking to them, like, you could tell this man doesn't know anything about what's going on. Like, he doesn't know, like, fact for fact of what they're doing and things like that. Like, he was just telling them what they seen. Okay, so then after that, Abe Leonard, he was talking to Hook Stratton, and he was trying to fish information. Hook Stratton not gonna talk to your ass. I'm sorry. She's just not gonna do it. You thought. Then, Aaron, he's calling Agent Wells, talking to her, and pretty much, long story short, they, like, the other agent, the white-haired agent, he's talking to Kirkman, and Kirkman was like, well, pretty much, like, they have to bring in Abe Leonard, because Abe Leonard, honestly speaking, Abe Leonard, I feel like, for a reporter, Abe Leonard really knows a bit too much. Honestly, he knows way too much. And with the things that he knows and the things that Agent Wells is trying to find out, if Abe Leonard was to leak that information, it would cause so much flack on their investigation. So, but then Kirkman's talking about we're just gonna have to write it out and see. I personally feel like he made the wrong choice. I feel like they should have called in Abe Leonard to see what the hell's going on, because ain't no way they're about to sit here and keep waiting this out. Like, no, they gotta find out now what this man knows, because if Abe Leonard was to write a story and everything, because like the stuff that he was writing, everything was checking out. So, I mean, you might as well call him, but who's to know? Then it's a scene with Abe Leonard that he's at his office, and then all of a sudden, like, he's trying to, retype whatever he had wrote down to put in the newspaper or the magazine or the internet or whatever. And there's a link, and he searches up something, and there's a link that gets sent to his monitor. And next thing you know, it's a whole lot of scenes and clips where Agent Wells was in the area, and it was pretty much that episode where Kirkman had got shot and the secret agents had tackled her down. It was that episode where the scenes had came from. Then it goes back to Agent Wells, and she's talking to this one guy, and he just wouldn't help her. And then she dropped something, and she picked up the Pax Americana book. Well, pickpocketed. So that was slick on the low. Then after that, he's trying to figure out what's a name that Bowman can't resist, and pretty much that name was Julia, and this is when she said that she has dementia right here. Then after that, they found some little area. I think they was going back to the area where they had found the I guess the bombs or the missile area, whatever it was. And there were some people that was guarding it, and the lady, she was so bitchy. Like, she's like, well, if you turn around and you go 3 miles left down the road, and you make that right, you make that left, you could go back to the highway. I think you're lost. Like, who? Like, no. But anyway, so I don't know. She was just really, really bitchy. I didn't like it. I didn't like her at all. But then, like, they didn't find anything anyway. So then after that, they're in like this little shack place thing, whatever. And she's reading the Pax Americana book, and it's a manifesto. It doesn't have any publishers, no authors, nothing. It's just a book. And it's definitely self-published. And pretty much, like, the main header throughout the book is no victory without sacrifice. It's a new world order. And pretty much, they trying to start stuff. Throughout the book is saying how, America is a systematic, what was it? A system for oppression, something like that. Then, like, she says it more clearer, like, in the next episode, which I'll get to in just a second. Then, after that, some dude is following Leonard. Leonard is definitely followed, because when he took that little selfie, dude vanished. So, somebody's definitely onto him. They went around Bowman's request, and they kept the 8 Supreme Court justices, and it's just going to be that. So, I don't know how that's going to work out, but it was smart, I guess. Then Leonard is definitely paranoid, because he came up to Seth like, yo, I'm going to need you to stop. Like, you got people following me now. Are you that serious? Da, 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 da. Then there's a package on Leonard's car. It's a phone, and somebody's trying to get info. They trying to see what he know, and trying to, like, pretty much, it's kind of like an exchange for an exchange. Let me know what you know, and I'll let you know what I know. Simple like that. Then the episode ends off with Jason and Agent Wells are spying on the people, and pretty much they lit the little campfire bonfire thing, and a chopper came in. A chopper landed, and apparently Lozano isn't dead. Let's just let that sit. Anyway, so the last episode 18, it started off with them still sitting in the bushes. They're lurking, and somehow they noticed that there was people in the bushes. So then they had to run. They were shooting at them. Jason got hit. After that, I personally feel like Leonard is getting played by somebody in the White House, cause cause like there was no, he was on the phone, and when the person hung up, a black car had drove by, and the black car had the White House license plates on it. So then after that, the bill now becomes a law. Kirkman signed off on it. Hookstratton signed off on it. So then, like, they're talking, and I guess Kirkman is like, thinking about making Hookstratton vice president. But then after that, there's a story that breaks out on Hookstratton, and talking about, she went to Turkey, and there's a whole lot of accusations about, like, military accusations, and I think it was Congress, they said they didn't want it, like, they wasn't for it, and like, she, like, I don't know, she just had some dealings with it. But personally, I didn't really find it a big deal. But honestly speaking, that kind of reminded me of it was some story Hillary Clinton had. I forgot what it was, but I think it had to do with some of her emails. It was like one of the stories, like, for her email. Like, it just reminded me of that. I can't remember it clearly, but that was that. So anyway, so back to that. I swear I'll be jumping around. I'm sorry, but before that, Agent Wells and the secret agent, they're back in their little headquarters area or whatever. So they're like, okay, well, pretty much this episode is pretty much a whole lot of, well, if Lozano is alive, who did the FBI kill? So then she's talking to the coroner, and so there's like they have a dead body, and they ran the fingerprints on the dead body, but the dead body was actually another guy. Lozano has switched his information, like, somehow, I don't think it was Lozano, like, particularly Lozano, but it was somebody else, and they switched Lozano's information with the dead guy, so it made it look like Lozano was dead. So pretty much, it's safe to say that Lozano affected his death. Then pretty much then after that, Hookstratton, she explained herself to Kirkman, told her what was going on. It was nothing. Everybody had approved of the situation, so she's not really understanding what's going on, things like that. Then after that, then Emily comes in, and she's telling them that, they have an open investigation on Hookstratton. Then later on, Wells gets the USB tracking information on Lozano. So pretty much, it's safe to say that they made the switch when the whole shooting and everything had went on. So Lozano was never dead, and that he had left that building the next day. So he was never dead. He was still alive. He just watched everything play out, really. Okay, afterwards, Kirkman pretty much isn't backing down from Hookstratton's side, and then Hookstratton, she's sitting in her office, and she's talking to Aaron, and they're talking about she may get fired by the ethics committee because she had a meeting with them the next day. The White House, it's safe to say that the White House definitely has a leak, because who was calling Abe Leonard? Honestly speaking, who was definitely calling Abe Leonard, and how did Lozano get away? So honestly speaking, it has to do something with, like, I don't know, for some reason, Peter McLeish is definitely written all over it. But that's just one piece to the puzzle. Afterwards, Hookstratton, she's trying to figure out who is trying to out her. So then it used to be this person named Liam Price that used to work for her, and he stabbed her in the back. Honestly, because she didn't fire him. She gave him an option to resign, and he didn't take it. So I guess she had to fire him, and I don't know what that beef is. They might go into it more in depth. They may not. Don't know. Then they realized that. Then after that, that's when the Agent Wells had realized that they shot a decoy, and pretty much, like, when they were rewatching the footage, there was like a I don't know. I forgot what she called it. It's like a type of flash, and when the flash went off, they did that deliberately. So, but there was enough to see that okay, it wasn't Lozano. They had a fingerprint, everything matched up, so it was safe to say that it wasn't Lozano. Lozano was pretty much alive. Now she's looking for Patrick Lloyd. So when she finally finds Patrick Lloyd, it's her and the white haired agent, and they and so like they're talking to Patrick Lloyd. So he's talking about like, oh yeah, you guys had did a illegal, you guys had did an illegal search. I'm not talking to you guys without my lawyer. He gave them enough information like, oh, they're Russian made landmines, and they're used for landmine training, something like that. He said, and pretty much it was a lot of them. He said 300,000. What you need with 300,000 landmines, sir? That's my question. Then pretty much like what he goes on to say was that he's like, oh, America is a broken system of oppression. That's what I meant to say earlier. And that's what's said, and that pretty much was said all over the Pax Americana book. Then later on, the episode ends with Agent Wells. She gets kidnapped, and Abe Leonard, he's getting tips from this man, and I have no idea who this man is. I really believe he's a senator or somebody that works in the White House, and then so Abe Leonard, he doesn't know like what's going on, and then at the very like the last, I don't know, 30 seconds of the episode, it goes to show that the person who kidnapped Agent Wells was Lozano. So now the question is, what is Lozano going to do with Agent Wells? Is he going to kill her? Is he going to try to extract information from her? Is he going to, I guess, persuade her to work with him or to, like, get off his back? Something. Because now she's in the doghouse. Well, not necessarily in the doghouse, but some type of shithole. But yeah, but that's pretty much the end of it. That's the end of all 3 episodes. That's what's going on so far with the Designated Survivor. Again, I highly do apologize for this late update. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll definitely see you guys in the next one.